All right, good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Beth Schafer, and Mr. Santee and Mr. Pettis invited me in to share a little bit about some opportunities in agriculture today. So I'm going to start off. You guys can go ahead and get logged into Google. But I'm going to tell you, you might have an advantage if you have taken a dairy class or a foods class. Anybody taken a dairy science or like a food science class? Yes, maybe, kind of, sort of. All right, better question. How many people live or work on a dairy farm? Live or work on a dairy farm. Awesome. I have to say thank you to those folks because I work for the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board, which is funded through our dairy farm families. All right, so as we're getting logged in today, we're just going to do a quick 4-question quiz. And guess what topic it's going to be on? It could be on cheese, dairy, anything else? I don't know. And we are playing for prizes today. Except the guy wearing the Dallas stuff. I don't know where he went. We are playing for the ever fabulous cheese head beef. These retail for $4.95 a shop, but today, by getting a top score in Kahoot, you could be a winner.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Holy.
I know, I really went out to say something. All right, is everybody logged in?
It's fine. 34 is not bad. 45.
Oh.
Not everybody has a phone though.
I've got 33.
Which poll would put Ohio up there?
Mason.
Sure he does, sure he does.
I've got Ohio State hat on. I'll show it. No, I'm
All right, here we go.
Adam, why are there so many Adams?
There's a lot of Adams.
I don't know. I wonder who did that. I'm the one with all caps.
All right, 4 questions really quickly. You know how the game works. How many varieties, types, and styles of world-famous cheese does Wisconsin produce? You know how it works? Use your phone to answer. 226, 450, 600, or 300? Excellent. All right. So part of my job is to promote 600 varieties, types, and styles of cheeses. Yesterday, I got to make some Christmas cookies that were made with blue cheese. What? I highly recommend it, yes. All right, so Ian, here's the main man. On average, how many pounds of cheese do Americans eat every single year? I'm going to tell you right now, I bet most of you are above average. That's your pseudo names. Well, you might be below average. How many pounds of cheese? And I knew that was going to happen.
Limited number of people they love.
Okay, the average is 33 pounds. Anybody think they're above?
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm above as well. You eat straight cheese every day, you're probably right on half. How many servings of dairy do you need every day? And cheese can be one of them. How many? How many? 4. You need 3 to 4. Guys, if you're a growing teenager, it's usually a little more. All right. What percentage of our famous Wisconsin cheese is sold outside of the state of Wisconsin? What percent? What percent? 60, 70, 80, or 90? A couple seconds to get those last guesses in. 90%. All right. So for double bonus points that don't really mean anything in the world of Kahoot, and actually I will, I'll put up the bonus offering. What percent of Wisconsin's milk is made into cheese? Anybody? I'll take 3 guesses. What percent of all of the milk in Wisconsin? We produce about, I gotta get this number right, 12 billion pounds each year. So what percent of milk is turned into cheese? She says 80. 85? You already seen this presentation, Mr. Pettis? 75. I'm going to take the closest answer. The closest is 85. You were under. The correct answer is actually, Mr. Pettis,
About 90%.
90%. There you are. All right. Here we go. Next up, final question. I've got two questions. Here we go. How many pounds of milk does it take to produce 1 pound of opening Wisconsin cheese? Now it's time to do some math.
Woody, don't get it wrong.
10.75 pounds to make
Don't get it wrong, Woody.
But she clicked it off on an accident.
Here we go. A couple more seconds. Get those final answers in.
Woody, how'd you get that
All
wrong?
right, so double bonus point question again. Now, you just heard me say how many pounds of milk Wisconsin produces every year.
Watched it go.
If we produce about 12 billion pounds of milk, or pardon me, 12 million, got this backwards, 12 billion pounds of milk, how many pounds of cheese are we producing, are we making each year? If we produce about 12 billion pounds of milk in Wisconsin, how many pounds of cheese does that equate to? A lot. Put your thinking caps on. It takes 10 pounds to make 1 pound of cheese. About what? I think I should have said million, not billion, sorry. Million pounds. Yes, she's got about 1.2 million pounds of cheese every single year. And in Wisconsin, we are home to a lot of different places that make cheese. Can anyone give me an example of the closest cheese factory to Pulaski that makes their cheese? Belgioso, that's a great one. Belgioso helps produce one of the most popular cheeses in Wisconsin, actually the United States. Anybody want to take a guess at the most popular cheese is? It's actually not cheddar. Mozzarella. And you know what makes mozzarella so fabulous? Pizza. You got it. All right, so our top score today is Sydney. Who's Sydney? Congratulations. Congratulations. There you are. All right. So we've got about, what, 15 minutes-ish, give or take? All right. So I actually told Mr. Sandy I've got a couple of options for you all. Just a really quick breakdown of how many of you are, like, what classes do we have represented here? All of them, thank you. What are you currently taking? Agri science foods? Awesome. Biotechnology, what other classes? Small animal, vet science, any other classes? Animal science? Advanced diesels? Okay. Marine bio. You guys have all kinds of awesome classes to take here. So what I'm going to take about 15 minutes, I can do one of two things. I can explain the milk marketing board to you, which sounds fun. Or I can tell you a little bit about how all the classes you're taking now have a really great future, whether you decide to go into the agriculture industry or go on to education, but there's a lot of opportunities through agriculture. So I'm just going to really quickly share with you some of those. All right, so Mr. Santi and Mr. Pettis and myself all have something in common. We have the same degree, which is the agriculture education, but do we all do the same job? Not exactly. So when you look at careers, my first tip for those of you who are, how many of you are junior seniors? Okay, this is coming up pretty close to on your windshield. You have to make some decisions, right? I'm here to tell you that just because you choose a degree doesn't mean you're going to do that exact thing for your entire life. There's some really key components that happen in between, and I know Mr. Pettis and Mr. Santi have probably shared that with you. So I just want to tell you about some of the other opportunities and education besides teaching in a classroom. And we'll make this quick and painful. So, as many of you know, to teach in a K through 12 classroom, you have to have a 4-year degree. You have to be licensed by DPI. And to teach in a technical college, it's actually a little different. I think it's kind of sweet to teach in a technical college because you don't actually have to have a teaching license. You just have to have worked in the industry or the field. Who's my diesel mech guy? That's an opportunity. They're always looking for people who know what they're doing to teach other people what they're doing. So don't ever think that you have to go to a 4-year college and get a 4-year degree to have a really great career in education. You can go through the technical college system and get experience that way. Also, anybody familiar with UW Extension? How about 4-H? Or, yeah, 4-H is about all I got. UW Extension is available, I know, because this is Brown County, O'Connell County, and
Auto gaming and Shano.
Trifecta, I love it. So UW extensions are kind of like UW, the university system, coming to your county. And they're always looking for experts to work there. So I'll just share with you a little bit how I got to be where I am. I went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I majored in agriculture education. I actually taught in schools for 5 years. I spent a year in Minnesota. Anybody realize they have agriculture in St. Paul, Minneapolis? Yeah, I taught those kids. They're wild. I eventually got my master's degree in education because I wanted to make more money. I learned some other important things, but mainly it was the money factor, I'm not going to lie. Ended up being a really great opportunity to network. My top. How many of you guys are involved in an organization outside of just being a student? Like you're in FFA or you're part of Future Business Leaders. Let's see those hands a little higher. Awesome. You just need to really network. Those connections, like Mr. Santi, I've known him since I was in high school.
Yep.
I'm not going to tell you how long that's been. It's been a while. But the connections I made, even just in high school, still using today. And I'm not going to tell you, you probably already know this, sometimes it's not necessarily what you know, it's who you know. Yeah, so get involved. When I was in college, I was in a bunch of organizations because I was a little ADD, but I couldn't quite decide what it was I wanted to focus on. And that's why I became a teacher, so I could be a little ADD all the time, as you probably have experienced with your own ed teachers. I had some internships. Has anyone ever heard of an internship? Maybe, kind of, sort of. Okay, what's an internship? It's a great movie, I heard that. What is an internship? Okay, you could do the job for free, you don't get paid for it. I had paid internships because I don't know about you guys, I don't like working for nothing. There's some really great internships out there. You don't get paid a ton, but you get to kind of practice the job and get a feel for it. So I interned with a dairy group. I interned with National FFA. I also, what else did I do? I interned with UW Extension. I just sort of kept trying all these different things because I couldn't figure out what it was I wanted to do. But all the while, guess what? I kept making money and connections. So kind of moving on, I was a biology teacher. I was an ag teacher. I taught in O'Connell Falls. I taught in Merrill. And eventually I figured out that being in the classroom wasn't all it's cracked up to be. My husband's a large animal veterinarian. He's gone all the time. He wanted to have kids. So now I work for the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board. And I think I have a pretty sweet job because I work indoors and outdoors. I spend a lot of time driving. I have a 17-county area that I manage. And I communicate a lot. My typical day of work, and there's lots of different councils that range from beef council, there's all kinds of educational opportunities, but I think the best part of my job is that no 2 days are the same. So I work with a program called Fuel Up to Place 60. You guys heard of this, maybe? It's more of an elementary middle school program. But we work with the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board, or the Dairy Farm Families of Wisconsin, partner with the Green Bay Packers, and we help provide resources for schools to get kids moving and active. Where are my FFA members? Okay, this program would fit really well in your healthy lifestyles committee. Provide grants. But we do all kinds of things, ranging from hacker outreach clinics. This Sunday we've got a group of kids who get to go on the field before the Dallas Green Bay game, and they get to represent like 60 schools. I work with school nutrition. How many people know that they're like you have to have a degree to run a school lunch program? Okay, surprise! You have to have a degree in dietetics or child nutrition to be able to plan school lunch menus. Not having come from like a school lunch background, this to me was really interesting because your school lunch ladies do more paperwork than I think anybody else in this building. Maybe special education, maybe not special education, but they have a lot that they keep track of. They order all the food. They have to make sure that all the food matches up with the correct color of vegetables. Yes, there are requirements for what color, how many times a week they serve like orange and red and green vegetables. Is that not crazy? They have to make sure that there's not too much salt in your food. There's all kinds of crazy things. So if you're interested in nutrition and food science people, we need people who like food and sort of like kids to become child nutrition people. But what I do with them is has anyone seen anything like this? You guys have these barrels? Did you have them in elementary school? Maybe? Did you drink milk in elementary, middle school, and high school? Yeah. Hey, all right. So we help school nutrition professionals serve milk so it tastes good, and that means it's got to be nice and fresh and cool. Those are really big. All right. The other piece that I do, I visit schools such as yours, but usually I see like little kids. You know, the age where they raise their hand when you ask if they have a question, and then they tell you a 5-minute story about their dog. Those kind of kids. So I appreciate your ability to follow along. I also work with media. I told you that yesterday I made cookies with blue cheese. I work with 4 television stations and a couple radio stations, and I actually make food and talk about Wisconsin cheese and Wisconsin butter and Wisconsin dairy products. It's not something I ever in a million years thought I would end up doing, but a really huge chunk of my time is devoted to making Wisconsin recipes that use Wisconsin dairy. So does anyone have any burning dairy questions? Cookie questions? Just use butter, that's all I'm going to say. All right. So my final little quick tips, how to be successful in any career area, and Mr. Santee and Mr. Pettis will tell you this. Network, 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 network. Never miss an opportunity to meet someone new, learn something different. Get involved in your community. Do community service, not because it's required, but because you want to be a part of your community. Take care of your mind and your body. Never stop learning. When you stop learning, that's, I think, when you become a fun hater. How are you ever going to learn anything new if you're not open to it? Choose a career that you believe in. I think that Mr. Santee and Mr. Pettis will tell you that no matter what it is, make sure that you believe in it. In my experience, I grew up on a dairy farm. I've always loved agriculture, and to be able to go out and represent the 9,900 and odd dairy farm families in Wisconsin is kind of amazing, and I can't believe they pay me to do it. And bring your best attitude and work ethic every single day. It doesn't matter. Super long, quick story. In college, I worked a lot of really random, odd jobs, and I think the most random one was I loaded FedEx trucks in Madison, and FedEx comes and drops off packages at your door. I loaded those trucks. And they actually offered me a job because of my work ethic. I'm like, well, I'm not majoring in anything in like boxes or shipping. And they said, we don't care, we know you can work. So always show you know how to work. And treat people with respect. Doesn't matter what their background is, where they're from. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And hopefully you're nicer to yourself than some people are. So those are my little tidbits of information. information. I can give you more information on the Milk Marketing Board because I know you're not all going to be in education, but never miss the opportunity to help people understand what it is you do. So, are there any questions? I know we've got like 2 minutes. Questions about cheese, milk prices? Nothing?
Yeah, blue cow.
So the next one we want to press is for the family. You still hear yourself. Oh, you know what? I'll put my speaker in.
Plugged in.
No, ladies and gentlemen,